All right, so welcome to our team call. So I just wanted to first start out with kind of some recognition. If I am remembering right, and these numbers are right, hopefully they are. I think they are. I just asked. Okay, so tonight the recognition for Success Club would be Zadie Curry, who is 6. Actually, I think that might be 8 now. This might be a little bit old. And then Janelle had 4. Akira had 8. Should I just ask her? Yes, I am recording. Thanks for reminding me, though. And then Jessica Iverson had 2, and Allison Neef had 2. So awesome job, guys. Way to go. And we're going to talk tonight a little bit about volume. So hopefully we can get any volume questions answered too, because I know that's super important. So besides just hitting Success Club, even if you're not hitting Success Club, you should at least try to have 500 PV. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. All right. So for announcements, March is going to be crazy. Okay. So let's see if I can just share this maybe with you guys, and then you can screenshot it. That would be awesome, and that way you can remember. All right, so here are our things. So all month, of course, we have the Success Club through January and December. The prizes are pretty awesome this year. So they're doing prizes for your first month, and then your third month, and then your 6th month, your 9th month, and your 12th month. If you make it all through the 12 months, you get this really awesome roller bag, which is pretty cool. It's a really nice roller bag, like a carry-on roller bag, which I'm really excited about. And then all month, so it's going to be $20 off the Ultimate Portion Fix Challenge Packs. So the challenge pack is going to include the whole kit and then bot, of course. So, and then also 40% off all 21-day fix and 80-day session apparel. So if you want to get new leggings or shirts, it's a great time to do that because everything is on sale. I love sales like that. That's awesome. So, and then March 1st, so if anybody is going on the trip, which I don't think we have anybody going on the trip, but the Success Club Super Trainer Photo Op starts. And they'll also have one of this, kind of like this for Summit. They always do it I think it's May and June. But this year Summit is in June, so they'll probably have April, May to qualify. And usually you have to hit Success Club 20 or have Success Club 10 in both months to be able to go to the Success Club party. So just heads up on that. And then March 4th is when the Ultimate Portion Fix launches, coaches only launch. So that's also for discount coaches. So just because it says coach only, also discount coaches. And I know we all like to sign up people as discount coaches. So that's just a heads up for that. Today's show segment with Shanti. Super Trainer op-ins. Okay, March 16th is the 10th birthday of Shakeology, so that's kind of cool. And also if you haven't, Carl is doing that Shake Week, and you can enter every single day, you guys, too, on your stories. Just because I haven't, you totally can. Don't watch me, sometimes I just forget. So so yeah, you can totally keep doing that. There's still a chance to win $100. He's giving a ton of money away literally this week, 10 people a day. That's a lot. That's literally $1,000 a day, and then 7 days. He's giving $7,000 away this week. That's amazing. And then the March 18th is actually the launch of the Ultimate Portion Fix. So if you have customers signing up, new people, even past people that maybe have quit, this is a great time to follow up with them and talk to them about the Ultimate Portion Fix, because a lot of my past customers actually signed up maybe when 21-day fix was hot, or that's kind of when I was just a newer coach when that launched. And then of course, anybody who's thinking about going to Summit, this is the last Summit sale, begins on March 24th. So make sure if there's any question about that, this would be for my Canadian girls and Allie and Kayla. So just to kind of any last calls. And then the Success Club trip, that's something to look forward to next year, you guys. So as long as you're hitting Success Club, you will be asked to go on this trip. So that's another thing. If you want to get free trips, this is the way to do it. And then the summit sale ends March 31st. So that's kind of all the announcements. March is going to be a busy month. So yeah, that is that. All right. So tonight I just kind of want to talk to you about a couple of things. So I thought about what I want to talk about. And one thing that I was thinking about kind of all week was don't quit. And because I think that rings so strong in my head, because when I was a new coach, that's all I wanted to do was quit. And I was a serial quitter when it came to everything. Like even when I was little, like I took piano lessons, but I quit them. And I just feel like I took guitar lessons too. I quit those too. Like I quit a lot of things. And so I think I was just used to quitting, and over time, like I think we as humans, like if things aren't happening as quick as we'd like them to, we're like, oh, like it must be me, right? That's absolutely not true. And some of it is partially, I mean, I can't say like, if you're not putting in the work, obviously things aren't, you're like, oh, why isn't my business working? I have coaches say that to me too, like in the past, like, oh, like, why isn't my business working, but they're not inviting or they're not posting, things like that. And so, I mean, sometimes you have to look in the mirror too, but for the majority, sometimes if you're doing everything right, sometimes it can be the season of things, sometimes it can just be the momentum too. And when I say about momentum is sometimes I have people come to me now that want to do this, and it's still a rare occasion, but I actually just talked to a girl today on the phone that possibly wants to coach, and she was like, I'm not too savvy with posting on social media. I try to stay away from it because I think it's too much drama. And I was like, well, that's like the majority of our business. Like, I hate to say it, like if you're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach you, but I feel like that's a huge part of our business, because not a lot of people just speak up and are like, yeah, I want to join your group. That's very rare. And so when things aren't happening and, or maybe you didn't hit Success Club this month, or maybe it's the second month you haven't hit Success Club, or maybe you're not ranked where you want to be, maybe you had plans to hit Diamond last year, or maybe you had plans to rank Advanced by now. You can't compare. And that's the biggest thing, is I think when we get in our own head and we want to quit, we are just comparing. And we do that a lot because we think, oh, that person signed up when I did, like I should be where they are. Or, I don't know, I've just had other people too, like even for myself, like I stopped watching other coaches. And I know Rose talked about this on the Team Rise call too, because it's just a time suck. Like if you're watching other people's stories, like not only is that a huge comparison thing, but you're also just wasting your time. Like you don't need to follow all these top coaches. The only top coaches that I really follow are Lindsay Matway and Katie Hafner. Those are the only ones. And once in a while, I'll go to like look at pages. Like I'll maybe see like, okay, what is Melanie Mitro posting lately? Or, just to kind of get ideas for just kind of like what their Instagram layout looks like or whatever. But you don't want to constantly be looking at people's, posts or whatever. I actually try to unfollow people that are coaches because, you're not looking for them and they're not looking for you either. And so why clutter up your newsfeed with a bunch of people that are coaches? And I know like the top coaches are amazing people to follow. Like, their lives look so glamorous and stuff, but you have to realize that that's their highlight reel too. And even for me too, like you try to look like, make your life look as appealing as possible, right? We don't stumble on in our pajamas and be like, oh yeah, it's time to work out today with our crazy morning hair. Well, sometimes I do that too, but like you try to make your life look appealing to other people. So that's another thing, is just that comparison game really runs strong, I think, when you're like looking at all that stuff, and it just takes up so much time, because then you're like, oh crap, like I've literally been sitting here for like 15 minutes when I could have been inviting or posting or whatever. And so I think that's a huge thing too, is when I think back of like, oh, why I wanted to quit, because I seen other people were doing this and other people were doing that, and I just felt like, man, like I am just a lonely little fish in the sea of Beachbody coaches, like I don't even have this. And they were coaching, I was coaching way before them. And, you know, like you just kind of get lost in all of that mess. And another thing is why you don't want to quit coaching is because it's okay to take a step back. Like it's okay to just pause. But one thing I will say is I have a really good friend. She's actually one of Rose's downlines, and her name is Jessica Dill. And her and I are like two peas in a pod. Like it's amazing. Like we've never met in person, but we can talk for like hours on the phone. And she is just an awesome person. Like she's like my twin, like my soul sister. And she isn't really coaching that much anymore, but she has thousands of dollars of volume built up in her account. Like she hasn't quit. She is just waiting kind of for the right moment to take off, her business to take off. And yeah, she's not really doing like the vital behaviors. But that's another reason is even like you look at Lindsay Matway. Lindsay Matway didn't have an upline and her upline didn't have an upline. So you think like, who really is Lindsay Matway's upline? You know, like look at all that volume that must be sitting there. You know, that's probably millions of dollars of volume, you know? And so, yes, you have to be like a certain rank in order to start, like Emerald is the rank that you start accruing the volume. So, you know, you just have to be aware of those things and think like, okay, why did I start this business? Why do I really want this? You know, when you want to quit. Or because I had those thoughts too. And I always text Rose, be like, oh, I didn't hit Success Club this month. I'm going to quit. And I'd always like threaten her, you know, I was like the problem child for sure. This happened like every month. And she'd be like, no, like, you know, you're doing so great. Like, just because you didn't hit Success Club doesn't mean that you should quit. Like, you know, you still signed up one person or, you know, and Sweet Rose, she was always like, tried to make me see the light, you know. And she was like, you have to think of why you want to do this. You know, you said you wanted to go on more vacations. Like, you know, how can you help more people to be able to do that? Or, you know, I don't know, just things that like would pull me back to a shore, you know, right? Like put the life vest on me or whatever. And no, I think it was really great to remember those things because you have to have a really strong why, because when this business is hard, like you have to remember that. But you also have to remember the good things that you've done. So like, you know, instead of remembering like, oh, I didn't hit Success Club this month, or, oh, I don't have any working coaches, because a lot of the time that was my case. Like I maybe would hit Success Club that month, but then I would get really down on myself if nobody showed up for a team call. Or, you know, that's what for the longest time, I didn't even do team calls, you guys, because nobody showed up. It was just me. And there's many times that I would record and hit, you know, record something so they could watch later. If they did watch, I don't know. But you know, it's just something that like I had to motivate myself. And sometimes it comes down to that is you have to lead yourself, and you might be leading yourselves right now. And quite a few of you on this team call are leading yourselves right now, but you still have to lead you. You know, just because you're not leading somebody else right now, you still have to lead yourself. And you have to think every single day, like, when one of my coaches, say somebody signs up right now and wants to be a rock star coach, would what I'm doing, like, could they do that and be successful? You know, and really think about that. Or like, what happens when I do sign up this business building coach that really wants to coach? Like, am I prepared to like lead them? You know, am I leading from the front? Am I doing the things that I need to be doing? You know, and if you can say yes, like I'm showing up every day in my business, or yes, I am showing, you know, them how to hit Success Club, or yes, I'm showing them how to work out and be consistent every day, then yes, you're doing everything right. And sometimes the cards just don't fall right. Like there was months that Rose even hasn't hit Success Club. I think it was like last year, and it was her first year. So she broke her streak. Like she was a Success Club legend and she broke her streak. So that happens. And I think like the biggest thing is just not wanting to let your mindset go there, and not playing that comparison game, and not, you know, letting yourself get in your own head and letting those waters crash over your head, you know. And I know that like, there's been times for me too that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I should be here. But honestly, it's one of those times that you just need to like step back and be like, okay, I need to like dive into some personal development like right now. And I know on one of our mastermind calls, Bob compared this business, I think it was Bob or Keith, I don't remember, but he was comparing this business to getting bit with poison. So like when that happens, so when you get like bit with poison, right? Even like a snake bite, like you want to get that venom out of you as soon as possible so you don't die, right? So that's the same thing in this business. So like when we get bit with poison, like maybe it's a negative comment, or maybe it's our own mindset, or maybe it's we want to quit. We want to get that poison out as soon as possible. So that way we're able to rebuild and restructure our mind and ourselves. So that way we can be and live up to our best self and be able to help others do that too. So does that kind of all make sense? Does that help? Like, I just kind of wanted to be like motivational. So yeah, and I feel like I said, there were so many times that I texted Rose and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna quit. Like this is hard. This sucks. And I don't want to do this anymore. And she was like, do you really? Like, think of all the people that are watching you so far. And sometimes it does take time, you guys. Like it takes time. It takes that momentum to build up. And it takes that time to like have people watch you. Literally, Bailey Bruns in our group, she used to coach. She's kind of on the fence about coaching, but she hasn't been coaching for a while now. But she watched me for like 3 years, and I talked to her all the time about coaching or joining our group. And because I just thought she was awesome, and I was like, yes, like she's going to be amazing. Same with Vanessa too. Vanessa's another one. And so it just sometimes takes people longer to like watch you and know that you're showing up and know that you're legit, before they can actually join you and before they make that decision. So like, if there's anything that I can tell you, consistency is huge in this business, not only for yourself and showing up every day and not wanting to quit, but also for those around you watching you. And then I would always tell myself, like, what if I would quit? Like, I wouldn't be legit, And there's always other companies. Like, the worst thing that you can literally do is company hop. Have you ever seen those people that they're like, oh, let's try this company and let's do this. And then they're like, oh, that doesn't work. Oh, let's try this. Oh, that doesn't work. Let's try this. And they're like squirrel brain with like companies and their own businesses. And you know what, you guys, if you can't get this business to work, all like the other MLMs are the same way. So if you can't get this business to work, don't think that, oh, it would be better over here. The grass always looks greener on the other side of the fence. Always. Trust me, I know. I thought that too. And I actually gave up a really awesome job in town to work for a horrible boss. And that's the same way. But thank goodness it led me here now. So I actually was just telling Taylor on the way home from town today, I was like, can you believe it's been like almost 2 years since I've been home full time? Like, it's crazy. But anyway, yeah, I mean, you always have that comparison game, like don't ever let yourself be thinking like, oh, like this company would be better because ... No, like if you can't figure it out here, like Tupperware isn't going to be any better, like it's still the same business module. Like you still have to like make sales in order, you still have to help people, but you're not necessarily helping people. Like how can Tupperware help your people? Like, I don't know, Tupperware doesn't really change the lives in my opinion, but I don't know, maybe the right, dish maybe would help organize your life. But anyway, I just feel like Beachbody is hands down the best because I have been approached before to do Tupperware, and I have been approached by It Works and 31, and none of them really caught my eye until Beachbody. Just because when people come back to you and they're like, thank you for changing my life. Thank you for helping me lose that baby weight and get my confidence back. Thank you for letting me be at home or helping me get to be at home and be with my kids or whatever, or pay off debt. That is the best. And I truly and sincerely want to help each of you get to that point that when people come back to you and they are truly grateful. And I tell this story quite a bit, or I've told it before, but I'll never forget the very first time I met Rose. I started crying, and that was in New Orleans. It was at the Success Club party, and I was like, we hadn't met. It was like the Success Club party is usually, I think it's usually like Friday night. So I was there already like Thursday and all of Friday. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I bet I'm not even going to get to meet Rose because she was always busy. And like, it was crazy. Like we were just on different schedules. And so I thought, I bet I'm going to go to New Orleans and like not even get to meet my coach. And we met finally and I started crying. And she's like, why are you crying? And I was like, you changed my life. Literally, you changed my life. And so I hope that all of you can have that experience with your coaches, because it truly was amazing to be able to like thank her in person and to be able to have that moment. All right, so let's talk a tad about volume. So did anybody watch like the video that I posted in the group or in the chat? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, no, okay. So there's several different ways to earn volume. So if you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. It is really good. And it explains it really well. I think it was like Brittany Leggett or somebody, I don't know, somebody did it, and she's definitely been coaching for a while, I can tell you that. So she knows what she's talking about. So the best ways to earn volume is that there is your PV. So PV means personal volume. So I'm just going to touch on this tonight because you guys have that video, but I'll kind of just lightly go into things. But PV can be your own orders. So that's Shakeology, that's Beach Bars, whatever products you are currently getting. PV also means your customers' orders, so not discount coaches. So this can be free leads. That's why free leads are awesome too, because sometimes they'll do like, you know, the 3-month bod, you know what I mean? Instead of doing it like that's more expensive, but they don't know any better, you know, and I try to tell them that when I reach out to them, but they don't listen, so, or they don't answer. So that's their decision. So, and it helps create more volume. Also doing anything like if we want to do, like I said, a 3-day refresh, like be talking about that, you know, a good post to say is like, hey, who wants to do a 3-day cleanse with me? You can eat real food and you can lose up to 5 to 10 pounds. And, you know, maybe drop your favorite emoji below or something. Yeah, I mean, I think like, you know, anything that you can just do like little extra stuff, like people who maybe want to try beach bars. You know, sometimes it's not always connecting people with challenge packs. Sometimes it's connecting people with, you know, maybe they're looking for a snack option. The beach bars, like Beachbody literally has something for everybody. And I think being on like our mastermind calls like that opened my eyes, like Bob and Lisa and like Keith and Steph, they're talking about like just the little things. Like sometimes it's not about like, you know, somebody maybe can't afford a challenge pack or maybe to sign up as a coach, but maybe they want to just pay the $40 fee and then maybe just get the beach bars, you know? Maybe that's what they can afford right now. Or maybe they just want to sign up as a coach and get bod, you know, for $99. You know, and so that all like creates that PV. Another thing that has PV is also the apparel and athletic wear. So PV is more like your personal volume is more directly related to that commission side of things, like where you're going to make your commission on. And that you definitely want to try to have 500 PV a week. Like it sounds like a lot, but that's really where you're going to see like that coming in, you know, that commission, because that means that you're helping people with beach bars or Energize or 3-day refreshes or what the performance line, whatever, you know. So you really want to be able to see that PV coming up. The other thing that we have is your team volume, which is kind of separated into left leg and right leg. So this is all your discount coaches. So like this is going to help you more so build. And she kind of talks about in this video about like building so that way your legs, because you want your legs to be even, right? So you want them to be like not like 10 people on one side and like one person on the other side. You want them to be even because that's how you're going to cycle. And so in order to cycle, you have to have X amount of volume on this side and X amount of volume on this side. The other way to build your legs is 2 to 1. So each of you have a strong leg. Your strong leg is going to be the leg that you are on underneath me, because believe it or not, I put people underneath you. So sometimes if you ever see like Susie Jones or somebody that you don't know sign up as a coach like underneath you, that's somebody that I've added underneath you. And Vanessa probably sees this a lot. Kayla probably sees this a lot. Allie, you're on the same leg as Vanessa. Kayla, you're actually on the same leg as Taylor. Acura, you're underneath Taylor's account, so you're probably not going to see it quite as much. But you guys will probably see that often, like, oh, I've added a coach, or let's see, I was going to try. Okay, perfect. I was going to try to mute Krista. Okay, but she muted herself. Okay. I heard some background.
Is that what I see, like, if I go on my, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Is that what I see, like, when I go on the coach office and it says new coach in your organization?
Yes,
is that what you mean? Okay.
Yes, that is me. It also could be like Rose. Like sometimes Rose or Jessica Bryson is above me. So it's kind of nice because Jessica Bryson will add people underneath me. So technically they're not underneath you, like they're not in your downline, but yet they are. You still want to, like, those are great people to be business like partners with too, or like success partners, because if they're doing good and having a lot of volume, that's gonna like transfer up to you. You know what I mean? So like, for example, like Allie and Vanessa are on my same leg. So like you guys could be Success Club partners because like that volume from each of you is going to build for you guys. And I think, Allie, you signed up later, so more so benefit Vanessa. You know what I mean? Like, because she's above you. So yeah. And then the other thing with that is, like I said, is that's all like your leg volume is all kind of your coach's volume. So then you cycle. So Beachbody pays you to cycle. Another thing that happens that Bob told us about the other night is your, once you hit diamond, you get a commission basically that is somewhat from kind of like your coach's earnings, but it's not like they don't take your guys' earnings and give it to me, because that would be like wrong, right? Like that would be like a pyramid. But Beachbody is basically paying me from your commission. And yeah, I make like, it's like sometimes it's $1, sometimes it's like $6, like it's not a ton. But Bob was telling us last night that, or 2 nights ago, that his right now where he's at, he makes his highest, because Bob Lucido was previously a lawyer. And he in that little account that he makes, where I make like $6 from, he is making more than his highest lawyer salary a week. That's amazing. So that's another really great perk of hitting diamond, is because then you get that bonus. But then also when you hit star diamond ranks, there's more bonuses and things like that you'll be earning too. And I know like Rose was even talking about that little chart that she had posted. I don't know if you guys seen that, but like of your potential earnings. Like if you're a diamond coach, I think it was, like your potential weekly earnings are like $2,000 a week. But guess what, you guys? That's not from like, that's just being a diamond coach, you know? Like that's diamond. But you need to maximize on your volume. So I'm going to try to pull up that chart just really quick. I think I had it in here. Okay, here it is. So basically, if you are a diamond coach, you need to have your total volume on your weak leg needs to be 11,000. Your strong leg would need to be 22,000. Let's see, or else you could also have like a balanced leg cycle. So that would be 16,000 volume on each. Like that's a lot of volume. Like I know that's a ton. Like usually during the week, if I'm lucky, I'll get 1,000. Or if I have a good week, it'll be over 1,000. But yeah, and then all of this adds up too, because you cycle. So that cycle adds up, because as an emerald coach, it's 14. And then as a ruby, it's 16. As a diamond, it's 18. So hopefully I confused you a lot. I know volume is one of the hardest things to understand. And I fully, like, I still tell Rose, I'm like, okay, like, I think it'll be a good like call, like Team Arise call, because I think we have so many new coaches that like I don't like getting into volume because I feel like it's one of those things that I struggled with learning really. I mean, I understand it, but I feel like I don't like to explain it because it is really complicated. So I feel like I don't do a good job of explaining it, but I told her, I was like, maybe that would be a good team call to talk about volume. So does anybody have any questions on anything, on volume or anything? Nope. Just watch that video. Like, trust me, the girl, I forget what her name, who did it, but it is really informative. I hope, does that kind of make more sense? Like that video, did that help, like seeing that kind of so? Does anybody else have any other questions, like general questions about like something they've been struggling with this week or anything? Nope. Nope. Everybody's so quiet. Vanessa, do you want to talk about your wedding?
I can. I'm like super tired, and I told Alicia, I was like, I haven't done any coaching stuff since I got back, but it's okay. I can start over fresh and start doing that again. But yeah, it ended up being interesting. The week before the wedding, our cruise ship like lost engine power, and then they ended up crashing into a dock and like damaging the boat. So we ended up down in Florida and ended up like no one would answer our phone calls, and they ended up telling us that our cruise was going to be like switched around. So instead of going to like Jamaica where the wedding was supposed to be in Grand Cayman Islands, we were going to be on a 5-day Bahamas cruise. So, I mean, thank goodness the Bahamas are still beautiful. Like the water was still gorgeous, but it was definitely like a change of plans. And then like we had all these guests flying in. And so Eric and I were scrambling to find like hotel rooms for people, and like it was absolutely nuts. Like it was kind of stressful, but that's okay. We ended up getting on the ship. We actually sat in Florida like on the boat for like a day and a half, so it was interesting too. But yeah, so it's definitely like all the planning that I did for like how many months, like just completely like everything was different. But at least the cruise line did like provide a wedding for us on a beach in the Bahamas. And like I said, it was still ended up being like absolutely beautiful. I always love the Bahama water. Like I don't know what Jamaica's water looks like, but I know the Bahamas, like it's one of the most like pretty blue colors I've ever seen. So it was still a good day. Like I've been a little frustrated since I came back because everybody tells me like, oh, what a mess, you know? And I'm like, oh, it's my wedding. Like I don't really consider it like a mess. Like, yeah, it was really stressful like leading up to that. But like the day of the wedding, like our main complaint was just that it wasn't a private beach, and we had paid for a private beach. And so there's people like on jet skis and, you know, walking back and forth and stuff like that. But like looking back on it, like it was still beautiful. And like in the moment, like I was very, very happy, you know, and stuff like that. So definitely not like a mess in my opinion. Like I still think that it was a beautiful day, but at the end I still got married on a beach. So
that must have been crazy though, like for the people that were actually flying in. Like I didn't think about that. Like, oh my gosh.
I know. Thank goodness we didn't have anyone like waiting for us in Jamaica. Like, thank goodness everyone was on the cruise with us, because oh boy.
Yeah, no kidding. You'd had people like, where are they? Like,
I know how like my parents were gonna do that, and like they're not very like smartphone savvy, so like they just wouldn't have cell phone service because they wouldn't get on Wi-Fi, you know. So that would have been bad.
Yeah. So were you guys close to Atlantis then? Like, did you guys, was it?
Yeah, like we could actually see it because we were on Nassau, was where we, or however you pronounce that, is where we got married. And we could like see Atlantis, and like our pastor's wife that we brought along, she was like, too bad they could have just had a wedding for you like at Atlantis, like on their like more private type beach, you know. So,
yeah.
And especially because of what we paid for it in Jamaica, you know. So we'll kind of see how that all works out. But
did you get any refund like at all then, like from that, or like a credit or something?
we're supposed to get 50% off the cruise that we went on because it didn't go to the right ports and it was shortened up. And then 50% off a future cruise. And then they covered the cost of like everything that I requested in Jamaica. They did that in the Bahamas at their cost, like at their expense. And at one time it was mentioned that we would get 50% off our wedding, but I don't know. We haven't seen anything yet, so I don't know how that.
Nice, but still, like at least like you guys got married like at the
I
end.
know.
Like you said, as long as you got married, like that's like what more can you ask for? That's what you're there for. So
exactly. So
awesome. All right. Does anybody else have any questions or anything else that they want to talk about quick? Nope. All right. Anybody want to do a quick picture?
Sure.
I don't have my phone here, so Kayla, you want to be in charge, or Allie? Okay, somebody. All right, get one? Okay, awesome. Tag me in it. All right, good night, guys. Thanks for hopping on.